Hi, my name's Scott the Miniature Maniac, and today we're getting dirty, we're getting rusty, and we're getting grimy. Sponsored by the Miskatonic Papers. What up, mini family? I recently picked up The Unmade, which are a war band from Games Workshop's new skirmish game called Warcry, and they're clearly the coolest war band. These guys skin their own faces and wear them on their waists as decoration. Yeesh! Yeesh babishka! Needless to say, these guys are in need of a grimy paint job, and I figured I could take you guys along for the ride to demonstrate some of the ways that I weather miniatures in quick and effective ways. So let's dive right in. The first thing we'll do before we even apply primer is add some extra surface texture. I'm taking a mixture of micro balloons, PVA glue, and water and applying it to the flat of this butcher cleaver. Rust oftentimes creates a physical texture like we can see here on my 96 Honda Civic. It gets on the surface and it chews away at metal, so it's a good idea to add some surface variety. I also added a little gash to his thigh that I'll later add some blood to. If you have a larger flat area to work with, consider adding some variety to them in the form of cuts, scrapes, bullet holes, etc. You might not have micro balloons to create this surface texture, and that's probably normal, but there are many other micro particulates that you can use that will work just fine. You could try to use sifted dirt from your backyard or tile grout, which are both very fine. One particulate you should avoid is baking soda. Baking soda and any other particulate that may have a chemical reaction with paint has a nasty tendency to activate under the layer of paint, causing problems down the road. To get started painting this cleaver, we start with a palette of browns, oranges, reds, silvers, and bronzes. The process is pretty ugly. Essentially, it's a lot of wet blending, specifically focusing the orange tones around where I put the texture down earlier. While I slap down these grimy tones, let's talk about a grimy Kickstarter. The Miskatonic Papers is a book unlike any other. The creator, Angel Baum, calls it an experiential read based on the Cthulhu mythos popularized by H.P. Lovecraft. The reader pieces together the narrative of a group of explorers coming out of the Miskatonic University heading to the Tunguska region of Siberia. The group discovers a cult temple, and bad things start to happen as they tend to do. Pledging to the Kickstarter doesn't get you a simple book. It gets you a handwritten journal, letters, telegrams, drawings, broadsides, pieces of ancient Cthulhu artifacts, and many other pieces, all letterpress printed. If you like what Angel Baum is doing with this Kickstarter, check out their other books at angelbaum.com/books. And also check out the Miskatonic Papers on Instagram to see the progress of the Kickstarter and get info related to it. If you guys are interested in this awesome experiential read, you can find the Kickstarter linked in the description below. It's a must-have for fans of the H.P. Lovecraft universe. And fun fact, Todd, the creator, was a guest on my YouTube channel not too long ago. Thanks for supporting YouTubers, Angel Baum. Now back to the video. With all the rusty colors added to the cleaver, it's time to add some metallic tones. Now, presumably this guy would like to keep his cutting edge nice and sharp, so the edge should be all metallic as he regularly sharpens it, which would remove the rust. I also like to add a rough edge highlight and scratches to other parts, giving the impression that some parts of the rust have been knocked off due to various wear and tear. The concept of the rough edge highlight extends to more than just metallic stuff, however. I also do that for other parts of the model like his skin skirt. Doing a spotty edge highlight like this can give the implication of roughness and is a good, easy way to make something look more battered. As a quick relevant detour from our cleaver, a good way to start a metallic weapon is with an undercoat of black and then adding a rough silver highlight. This very quickly gives the weapon a beaten appearance. You can even add various shades of metallic tones to build up highlights and shadows, always applying them in a spotty way. Alright, back to the cleaver now. Lastly, we obviously need some blood. Earlier I used a dark red matte acrylic paint to add some dried blood, and now we're going to add some glossy fresh blood. I think an important part of weathering is layers. Layers of crust and goo and variety. And this is one way to get that variety with different versions of blood. The blood effect that I'm using in this example is Blood for the Blood God from Games Workshop, which is nice and glossy, which is a good contrast to the scale 75 paints that I'm using for my old crusty gore, which is very nice and matte. Speaking of that variety, let's add some stretchy, fleshy gore to his Captain Hook imitation hand. This process is pretty simple. You take some Uhu glue and red ink and mix them with a disposable applicator like a toothpick. You have to kind of work fast because the Uhu glue gets gummy really quickly. Get a gooey booger on your toothpick and apply it to the miniature, stretching it to your satisfaction. You can color Uhu glue with normal acrylic paint as well if that's all you have. You can make a green or turquoise or whatever you want. This is a fun and easy special effect that can amp up your miniatures. Next, let's chat about a weathering method you've seen on my channel a lot recently. For armor that is painted on your miniature, applying some paint chips and dings is really easy. You first apply black spots to areas that would receive the most wear and tear. Next, inside those black spots, apply some metallic paint. With this process, we're trying to replicate how metal is normally painted in real modern day life, with a layer of primer and then color. Do people in the chaos wastes of the Age of Sigmar universe have primer? I don't know. Does it make metal chipping look better when it has a nice black outline? Absolutely yes. Another quick and dirty way to give this guy a little extra weathering oomph is to add some dry pigments to the base and also creeping up onto his feet. This gives the impression of a very well-traveled miniature. Lastly, another of my favorite products for weathering is Tamiya's clear line, specifically the orange variety. This sticky, glossy, thick substance is great for various types of ooze like gun oil, or in this case, leaky pus that's dripping out of the flayed skin skirt of our character. There are some various holes on the skin that I wanted to have some goo dripping out of, and I figured it was a perfect opportunity for this stuff. Toss on a little bit of extra gore around the seams, and those are all the easy weathering steps I used on this Warcry miniature. You can find some of the products that I used in the description below. For me, weathering is like basing. It's low effort and high impact. It elevates miniatures so much and takes very little time. Don't get me wrong, weathering can be complicated. Any model kit painter will tell you that. But it can also be really simple for 90% of the impact, especially on miniatures where the surface area isn't as large as big model kits like tanks or Gundams. I don't know the most about weathering, but these are the majority of the little tricks that I've picked up along my miniature painting journey that I've enjoyed, and I hope you have as well. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any low effort, high impact weathering tips, and we can all learn together. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And as a reminder, if you liked that Kickstarter for the Miskatonic Papers, you can find it linked in the description below. If you like the channel and you want to support it, there are many ways that you can do so, linked in the description, namely a Patreon campaign where you can get fun rewards like a Discord server where you can hang out with me any day of the week chatting about your miniature painting projects, or talking about your favorite horror movies. Really anything goes in that server. Other rewards are things like getting my videos a week early and also getting shout outs in videos. You can also buy merchandise, not like this t-shirt, but like this hat. Other ways to support the channel are also linked down there in a handy article, both free and not free. Subscribe or die! And most importantly, don't forget to paint more metal!